Al-IyamoyeTv Radio, Voice of the Voiceless.
It is essential to be up to date on happenings around you, and to make that easy for you, ladies and gentlemen, we present Freshlight, where we bring fresh newspaper headlines to the limelight. Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Watch, like, subscribe, and make sure your notification is activated on our YouTube channel. You can also like and comment on our pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Beautiful morning to you wherever you're watching Al-IyamoyeTv and radio this beautiful Tuesday morning, the 18th day in the month of July 2023. Welcome to Freshlight once again, the second edition for the week on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, where we take you through different headlines, perusing different newspapers, and of course to keep you abreast and to keep you updated on different happenings around you in Nigeria and of course outside the country, Nigeria, on this frequency. My name is MODUPE AKINYOSOYE, and of course this morning I have the Vanguard newspaper, I have the Punch, I have the Nation, and I have Daily Trust newspaper, which we will be perusing this beautiful morning. Without further ado, the Vanguard newspaper with me. We'll start with the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, and from the front page of the Vanguard you see this very headline that says, "Our weapons against insecurity," says service chiefs with several riders, and you get that on page 5 in the Vanguard newspaper. And of course you get to see the picture and photo of service chiefs at a representative screening. You get to see the Chief of Defense Intelligence, Major General Ekpa, Chief of Army Staff, Major General Tawhid Lagbaja, and Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Christopher Musa, during the screening exercise by the House of Representatives at the National Assembly in Abuja yesterday. Also from the front page of the Vanguard, you get to see this very business report. Naira depreciation, subsidy removal pushed inflation to 22.79%. That you will find on page 19 in the Vanguard. Emefiele, lawyers initiate contempt case against DSS Director General Bichi, revealing that from page 4 in the Vanguard. On deregulation, marketers begin fuel importation, NMDPRA also reporting that very story, but page 19 captures the details of that. FRIC can only operate on federal roads, appeal court rules. Page 4 captures that very story. Also from the front page of the Vanguard, Army intercepts truckload of ammunition in Southeast. Page 13 captures that very story. And also story here, GT Bank emerges best bank in Nigeria at Euro money. Page 20 captures the details of that. On APC crisis, Tinubu shops for Adamu's successor. You get that on page 37 with several riders. National Assembly committees, lawmakers scramble for Tinubu Gbaja's endorsement. You get out on page 9 in the Vanguard. Federal government moves to evacuate overtime cargoes from ports. Page 12 captures that very story. And also from a spot headline right here on the front page of the Vanguard reveals that Kano sacks Enyimba, Kochi saves Finidi. That's from page 30 in the Vanguard newspaper. And quickly going through the Vanguard newspaper, we get this report right here from appeal court. FRC can only operate on federal roads, appeal court rules. The Court of Appeals sitting in Asaba, Delta State yesterday affirmed the judgment of the Federal High Court in Warri, which held the Federal Road Safety Commission, FRC, can only operate on federal roads. A panel of the court in suit number CA/AS/276/2019, FRC versus Darlington Hehikim, dismissed the appeal filed by FRC challenging the judgment of Justice E. Nwite of the Federal High Court, Warri. The Federal High Court had on January 25, 2019, entered judgment in favor of the plaintiff, who is a member of the NBA, Warri, and granted all the relief sought, which includes a declaration that the FRC has no right to operate and or carry any activity on state and local government roads. The rest of that you see in the Vanguard newspaper. FRSC can only operate on federal roads, appeal court rules. And also from the Vanguard, we have this update. A statement credited to Gani Adams says Isheshe Day will foster unity and progress in Southwest. The Are Onokakankwo of Yoruba land, Gani Adams, yesterday said the request made by the Council of Obas and Chiefs to the Lagos State government to recognize and declare August 20 as Isheshe Day holiday in the state would foster unity and progress in the Southwest. Adams, who supported the view of the monarch, said he was an advocate for the day to be formally approved by Southwest governors, adding that there was a need, for traditionalists to have the day specially dedicated for the celebration of Yoruba culture and tradition. Isheshe Day will foster unity and progress in Southwest. Gani Adams also revealing that very story. Away from that, we also are from the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, let's see the story. Nigeria Army intercepts truckload of ammunition to Southeast. Troops of the Nigerian Army on Saturday intercepted an international smuggling syndicate while transporting a truckload of smuggled ammunition to Anambra State, Nigeria's southeast. Army spokesperson Onyema Nwachukwu disclosed this in a statement yesterday. Nwachukwu, a brigadier general, said the troops acting on a tip-off made interception during a meticulous and rigorous stop and search operation along Agility Owode Road in Yewa North local government area of Ogun State, southwest Nigeria. And of course, he listed the ammunition to include 720 packets of Red Star cartridges of 12 calibers, which contain 25 cartridges per packet, totaling 18,000 cartridges, and 250 packets of live black cartridges containing 10 packets each, and totaling 2,500 cartridges of the same caliber. From the Vanguard, Nigerian Army intercepts truckload of ammunition to Southeast. And away from the Vanguard newspaper, let's see the front page of another newspaper this morning. Okay, let's start with the Nation newspaper. From the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning, July 18, you get to see the largest headline from the front page. APC top positions, why Adamu and Omishore lost out. You get to see the reason on page 2 and 3 in the Nation newspaper. Away from that, you get to see we have database for 15 million poor Nigerians, says agency. With a rider, how the $800 million will be transferred to beneficiaries. Page 4 captured the details of that very story. Ex-Army Chief Bamayi, troops should crush bandits. President should crush bandits. That very story, you get details on page 6. And also, President greets celebrated columnist Olasuji Dari at 79. That's on page 6 in the Nation. Drop plan to hike electricity tariffs. Man cautions. Page 7 captures that very story. INEC and Tinubu, Abuja resident not superior to other Nigerians. You also get that on page 5 in the Nation newspaper with a rider. And away from that, also from the front page, you get to see non-oil exports netted $2.539 billion in 6 months. And that's also on page 4. Varsity workers demand 50 billion naira earned allowances. Page 28 captures that very story. And quickly going to the Nation newspaper to give you one or two couple of stories. Okay, we'll start with the reason for the resignation of the National APC chairman and the secretary. APC top positions, why Adamu Omishore lost out. With several riders. Senators Abdullahi Adamu and Iyola Omishore left their positions yesterday as national chairman and national secretary of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, following complaints about lack of accountability and non-inclusive leadership it was lent. And the sources said the chairman had become a source of division in the NEC and the National Working Committee. Adamu and Omishore came into office in March last year. APC National Vice Chairman Northwest Salihu Lukman has consistently accused Adamu of violating the constitution of the party. The rest of that in the Nation newspaper with the headline APC top positions, why Adamu Omishore lost out. You get more details to that in the Nation newspaper. Away from that, we also have a breaking news right here. Tinubu returns to Abuja from Kenya. President Bola has returned to Abuja from Nairobi, Kenya, where he participated in the 5th Mid-Year Coordination meeting of the African Union. And Tinubu arrived at the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport around 4:20 p.m. yesterday. President Tinubu, who attended in his capacity as the chairman of the Authority of the Heads of State and Government of the Economic Community of West African State, left Abuja on Saturday. Tinubu returns to Abuja from Kenya. The Nation newspaper captured that story. And also from the Nation newspaper, Kyari takes over APC as National Working Committee postpones caucus NEC meetings. After 1 year and 4 months at the saddle, Senator Al-IyamoyeTv has finally thrown in the towel as the national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. He becomes the first national chairman of the party to resign from office. The national secretary of the party, Senator Al-IyamoyeTv, also tendered his resignation letter. Acting national chairman of the party, Senator Abubakar Kyari, confirmed the development on Tuesday after a crucial meeting of the National Working Committee, and the developments put to rest the widely reported resignation of the chairman and the secretary at the weekend. From the Nation, Kyari takes over APC as National Working Committee postpones caucus and NEC meeting. From the Nation newspaper. Away from the Nation, let's see the front page of another newspaper. Okay, let's see the Daily Trust newspaper before we peruse the Punch newspaper. From the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, tough time for families as inflation soars to 7-year high. You get that with several riders on page 4 in the Daily Trust newspaper. Also from the Daily Trust, Access Bank eyes more dues after buying Standard Chartered asset. You get that on page 19 in the Daily Trust. Emefiele says Arewa leader in South, wife detained by DSS relative to protest. Page 6 captures that. Kyari takes over as acting APC chairman. Page 10 captures that very story, also resurfacing on the front page of the Daily Trust. NGX Group to fast-track NMPC listing. Page 19 captures that. GT Bank named best in Nigeria by Hero Money. That's also resurfacing, but page 20 captures the details. 4 days after, NDLEA fails to produce killer of 2-year-old boy in Delta. That rather sad one from page 16 in the Daily Trust newspaper. Also, Enugu threatened to revoke license of traders observing seat at home. Page 7 captures that story from the Daily Trust newspaper. Quickly going by stories from the Daily Trust newspaper. Okay, we'll start with this very update. Population Commission speaks on new census date. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will personally announce new dates for the postponed National Population Announcing Census. And the chairman of the National Population Commission, NPC, Nasir Kwara, stated this on Thursday while briefing State House reporters after leading a delegation to brief the president at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja. Population Commission speaks on new census date. The Daily Trust newspaper captures that very story. Away from that, also from the Daily Trust, so we get to see, from Daily Trust newspaper, on subsidy removal, federal government urged to provide free education and direct loans to farmers. A legal practitioner, Ferdinand Nwigwe, has urged the federal government considers adopting free primary and secondary education for students in the country to cushion the effect of subsidy on household. And speaking during a town hall meeting in Abuja, Nwigwe stated that the government also needs to provide direct loans to farmers to reduce the skyrocketing prices of food in the country. The rest of that from Daily Trust. Subsidy removal, federal government urged to provide free education and direct loans to farmers. Away from the Daily Trust newspaper, let's see the Punch newspaper before we round it up this morning. From the front page of the Punch newspaper, audit report nails Adamu Omishore as Tinubu and governors shop for new chair. Page 2 captures that with double riders. Also from the front page, federal government grants 56 import licenses as fuel consumption drops. Page 19 captures the details. On anthrax, government plans nationwide animal vaccination. Page 9 captures that. Politicians flooding government house distracting me. Akwa Ibom governor revealing that on page 9 in the Punch newspaper. Away from that, also from the front page, you get to see Army intercept Anambra bound truck with ammunition. You get that with double several riders on page 8 in the Punch newspaper. Suspended EFCC chair spent 33 days in custody. Page 7 of the Punch captures that. Lover and prophet to die by hanging for killing Lasso undergraduate. Page 4 and 5 captures that Metro story. And also poultry farms shutting down over high maize price. Pan. Revealing that on page 16 in the Punch newspaper. And quickly going through the Punch newspaper this morning. Okay, we start with an update on anthrax. Federal government plans nationwide animal vaccination, and expert urge vigilance. The federal government on Monday said plans are underway to undertake a nationwide vaccination of cattle, sheep, and goats following a confirmed case of anthrax in Niger State. The Niger case comes weeks after the federal government alerted Nigerians to the outbreak of the deadly disease in some neighboring countries within the West African sub-region. And the government in June specifically stated that the disease was widespread in northern Ghana, bordering Burkina Faso and Togo, and consequently the federal government advised Nigerians to cease from the consumption of cow hides, otherwise known as momo, smoked meat, and bush meat. The rest of that in the Punch newspaper. Anthrax, federal government plans nationwide animal vaccination, experts urge vigilance. From the Punch. Also from the Punch newspaper, let's see. POS operators divided as new charges commence. A group of point of sales operators in Nigeria have protested against the increased service charges in the country, which took effect on Monday. The Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria announced new service charges for operators in June. The association had said the increase in service charges was to ensure point of sale operators survive. You get the details of that, and of course an analysis to that in the Punch newspaper. POS operators divided as new charges commence. And running it up with this sports story from the Punch. Napoli offer Osimhen 6.5 billion naira annual salary. Italian champions Napoli have offered Victor Osimhen a new 2-year contract extension with a salary worth 6.5 billion naira plus 1 million euros in bonuses. Osimhen, who has 2 years left on his contract at Napoli, had demanded a salary of 7 million euros annually to extend his current deal with the Italian champions, who are keen to tie him down to a new deal amidst interest from some of Europe's top clubs. The new proposed deal, it was gathered, will include a release clause worth £170 million for the Nigerian striker. And the 24-year-old steered the Partenope to their first title in 33 years, scoring 26 goals in 32 games. Napoli offer Osimhen 6.5 billion naira annual salary. From the sport pages of the Punch newspaper. That will be all on Freshlight this morning on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I remain MODUPE. AKINYOSOYE. Good morning.